Y'all, while we're waiting, there's a little giraffe coming over to us.
Alright, and with that, we're going to get the show up back on the road. So once again, guys, thank you for your patience, but this is much better than the first time because we actually got to see the giraffes and see them stop us. So not every day you get to say that you ran late to something because a giraffe was in the road. So very, very cool. Now every animal here on the savannah kind of has their own at-home job when it comes to taking care of the landscape. I kind of already mentioned it with the giraffes, but we like to call them the tree trimmers. Like I said, they spend about 20 hours or so eating, and they're going to prune the trees. That means that they pull the leaves off of the underside of the branches. That's why a lot of these trees look a little bit bare until about 20 feet high. It's not natural, it is thanks to these guys. Whereas the antelope species, so the wildebeest, the sable antelopes, the zebras, they're all going to be like the lawnmowers. So they spend most of their days grazing on the grasses, keep them short and tidy looking. So, you know, the wildebeest, them all by themselves there on the right. Being all independent. There's also a couple of Ankole cattle to our right side as well. They're underneath the palm trees way out there. They're also known as Watusi cattle, named after the Watusi tribe who first domesticated them. They're one of 2 domesticated species that live out here on the reserve. 3 of them are obviously on the younger side. I say that because they're smaller just in general, but also their horns are a lot smaller as well. So for the adult out there, once they're full grown, the horns stretch about 6 to 8 feet across from tip to tip, but they're not as heavy as they may seem. They're pretty hollow on the inside. It's like a honeycomb or beehive kind of structure. Their blood vessels run through the horns. So same kind of concept again as sweating for us humans. That thermoregulation is going to help to regulate the body temperature. So we talked about the lawnmowers and the tree trimmers, and there's also bulldozers of the savannah. That's going to be the job for animals like elephants. So we're making our way into elephant territory. They'll use their trunks and legs to knock over trees. That way they've got easier access to the vegetation. And immediately here on the right hand side, got a pretty good view of an African elephant. So their trunk alone is made up of 100,000 muscles. It's a super intricate system, strong enough to push over trees, delicate enough to pick up something as small as a penny. But the most common day-to-day uses are going to be things like eating, drinking, and playing with one another. Oh, there's a mandrill real quick here on the left-hand side. Almost missed him. Back behind those trees. Now, mandrills are the largest monkeys in the world. They're considered to be monkeys because they do have a tail, which is very small. Males are going to be around 100 pounds, females about 20 to 30. So pretty significant size difference between the two. That's how we can tell that was a male back there. Now, as far as the elephant back here goes, probably safe to assume it's a juvenile male elephant. I say juvenile because, believe it or not, he's on the smaller side. So males are going to average around 13,000 pounds, and then females about 8,000 pounds. But he also appears to be by himself, which is totally normal for males. Elephants live in what's called a matriarchal society. That means that they're led by the oldest and wisest female, and the females will stay together their entire lives. Whereas for male elephants, when they get to their teenage years, they'll separate from the herd and live either alone as a bachelor, or sometimes they'll form small bachelor groups with other males. Now, with all that being said, there's also a group of females who like to hang out here on the reserve from time to time as well. So we're going to keep on moving, dig a little bit deeper into elephant territory, see if we can find some more of the herd. In the meantime, we are making our way through the red clay pits. Also a really good common gathering spot for elephants. You'll see some footprints on the ground, some tusk marks on the wall. They'll use their tusks to scrape at the red clay, get it loose, and then they eat it. The clay is really high in nutrients and minerals, so it's pretty similar. It's like a daily vitamin for us kids. They can also get that clay wet, turn it into a muddy texture, and then spray it onto their backs. It's going to act as like a natural sunscreen because they do have some pretty thick, dry, and sensitive skin. They want to keep protected from the sun. Looks like there's a couple more around the corner, so we'll try to find a good break in the trees here in a second. Now, unfortunately, all across the globe, elephants are considered to, or they are facing a tough time with habitat destruction, primarily for mining of a mineral called coltan. So coltan is a metallic ore that is found in our electronic devices and batteries. It's actually what helps to power the batteries. So it's found in your smartwatches, cell phones, laptops, cameras, tablets. They all contain coltan, but it is a recyclable mineral as it has no expiration date. Most major electronic stores do have recycling programs so that you can properly dispose of those items. Over time, that is going to help to lower the amount of cold chem mining taking place, ultimately saving both their homes and their populations so that we can continue to see and learn from them. We're going to go slow through the water, and we got just, looks like just one more elephant down here by the water. Coming up here on the island, we are passing by what's called a flamboyance of greater flamingo.
Flamingos.
Greater flamingo are the largest of the flamingo species and the lightest in color. And their color comes from their diet. They eat a lot of brine, shrimp, and other crustaceans. It's high in a protein called beta-carotene, which produces that pink pigment. So when flamingos first hatch, they do start off as a dark gray color. It takes about 2 to 2.5 years for those feathers to light up entirely. They're also filter feeders, which means that they eat with their heads under the water, but they don't swallow the water. Instead, it's going to drain out the sides of their beak, acting very similar. It's like a pasta strainer, only leaving that food and its protein supplement. Alright, now as we head into this side of the savannah, we'll notice some changes in the terrain and in the residents. Coming up on one of my favorite animals here on the reserve, a couple of white rhinos. And they get their name from a mistranslation of an Afrikaans word, "weit." That means wide. It refers to the square, broad shape of their mouth. And they also have a flat upper lip. They are one of 5 remaining rhino species left across the globe, and they are the largest of all of them, capping at about 5 to 6,000 pounds. They're super social as well. They travel in groups known as crashes. So you can keep an eye out for some more of the crash as we keep moving. You can see they're hanging out by that mud pit. One of them is maybe considering going for a dip. It's going to be the same kind of thing as mud does for elephants. So they'll plop down in the mud and get covered from head to toe. But we're going to keep on moving. We're going to make our way into predator country. Keep an eye out over on our left-hand side, because a wide open space like this that's also really well shaded can sometimes be a good hiding spot for animals like cheetahs. Now they are pros at blending into their surroundings. Best way that I can describe trying to find them is to look for like a tan or gold log with some black spots on it, because usually at this time of day they are conserving their energy, meaning that they're laying down somewhere. But I don't think I'm seeing much. Maybe you guys can spot a little bit easier than I can. Oh, I see one through the vines right here next to me. Really, really tough to see. So we'll just go slow. Oh, yes. Yeah, they're not really doing much at the moment, not super active. Kind of typical this time of day. Cheetahs are diurnal animals, meaning they're active during the daytime. But as the sun gets higher, hotter, and brighter, that's usually when they're just going to be resting and conserving their energy until it's a little bit lower in the horizon. But we are still in predator country. We are circling around this Kobe Rock formation. Kobe Rocks can sometimes be a good home for some nocturnal big cats. Of course, nocturnal meaning more active after the sun sets. So the lower portion, kind of like down below, it gives them a good vantage point. Or I'm sorry, gives them shade during the hotter hours of the day. The upper portion that we can see gives them a good vantage point, looking across the savannah and trying to find their prey. And hanging out there at the front of the Kobe is where we are going to spot a couple of lions. There's a couple more of those rhinos off to the right-hand side.
Lions.
You can see it looks like a lioness and a male laying down in the shade just in front of her. So he's got that mane around his neck. I will admit his mane is a little small at the moment, only because of his age. So probably going to take a couple more years before it really kicks in at its thickest and darkest, but probably around 3 years old or so. But he's going to be protector and defender. So he stays home, guards the cubs, guards his territory, while the lionesses, now we can see that there's 2. The lionesses do the majority of the hunting, and typically at nighttime. During the day, a lion's eyesight is pretty much the same as ours. At nighttime, our eyesight gets weaker, but theirs stays the same, making it about 6 times stronger than our eyesight is at night. Ooh, as we pull around the corner, here to the left, passing by some holes and burrows, we'll see some warthogs hanging out here. Now, the warthogs, they are the largest burrowing mammals in the world. They've got 2 sets of tusks. On their upper jaw, their tusks curl upwards, and they use them like a shovel, digging out the holes and burrows, and then back into them when they sleep. And then we're also passing by a couple of ostrich, too. A couple of females. We know this from the color of their feathers. So females have the gray feathers, and then males have the black and white. They are the largest bird in the world and the fastest thing on 2 legs. They're going to run at about 40 miles an hour, using their wings for maintaining their balance and changing directions while they run. They're going to get to about 40 miles an hour when doing so. Now they are also the largest bird in the world, which means that they lay the largest eggs. And we are going to find a clutch of their eggs off here to the right hand side. The largest and strongest eggs in the world. Strong enough to where a grown human can stand on one and they're not going to break. But they're not that heavy. They only weigh about 3 pounds, which equals to about 2 dozen or 24 chicken eggs. So last but not least, we are heading through Magadi Glen. Magadi Glen is home to the Warden's Post. And hanging out here with the warden is where we are going to find the ever so cute Nigerian wolf goats. There we go. Now, these guys are a domesticated species, which pretty much means that they can be kept as pets, and it's because of their milk production. The goat's milk is high in nutrition, but it's also very high in value, which in turn is going to help to boost the economy of many villages all throughout Africa. The milk can be sold either on its own or in other products, like butter, cheese, and skincare. In turn, the farmer provides the goats with things like food, healthcare, and shelter. So it's a really good example of how humans and animals can live together harmoniously and peacefully as long as it's done right. And with that, it looks like our safari adventure is coming to a close as we are coming up on the outskirts of the village. But one last thing I want to leave you with is that no matter where you live and no matter what you do, you always play a part in conserving animals and their natural habitats. A really simple way that you can do this from back at home is going to be by following those 3 R's. So reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce your use of single-use plastics and instead use reusable items where you can. So reusable tote bags when you go grocery shopping, reusable straws, water bottles, and utensils. And then of course that last one is going to be recycle. So recycling your electronics, but also your paper, plastic, and glass products. That way they can be made into other items for future use. All 3 of these things are really small changes you can make in your everyday lifestyle, and over time they do go a really long way. If I happen to have any wilderness explorers on board, you have it on the Simba 1. That is Simba like the lion and the number 1, and that'll be found on page 14 of your guidebooks. Once I drop you off, as you head back towards the village, we're going to pass by a castle with a bright orange satchel.
Alright, y'all, we are in Gorilla Fall. Oh, actually, no, Gorilla Falls is that way. Like, you know. Look at all this. Look at yeah, I'll admit this part is pretty cool. And that's the entrance to it. I'm gonna go see the Lion King show. I think it starts right now. I get seats. So yeah, it takes like 15 minutes, I believe. I'm probably not gonna, try to film the show. Then again, Rafiki's Planet Watch. Wait, is it this one? The Rafiki's Planet Watch? Oh, it's over there.
That's a train.
Oh, that's the chain. Actually, no, 30 minutes actually. Now it's 45. It's only like 12:47, so I'm gonna try to take a restroom. We already passed through these places, so we'll see you on the next scene. Alright, y'all. So this is the part that we haven't been yet. Yeah. I think the Lion King Festival is on the way over there. Yeah, 45%. I was about to head to the Lion King Festival of the Lion King. Yeah, I think that's just nothing over there. Yeah. So, Lion King. Alright, we're gonna be going here, so we'll see you all in the next scene.